Hello! You may be wondering where the hell I've been. Actually, you may not be wondering that. You may have no idea who I am. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Momo. I disappeared for like 6 months off the face of the earth, but now I'm back. And if you're not new to my channel, well, now you're gonna finally find out why I've been away for so long. You might have noticed, if you've watched my previous content, that I also have a new, better webcam that I'm using. I bought one not too long ago, knowing that I would return to streaming soon, so no more bad quality, grainy footage when I'm streaming or recording in the evenings. Before I get into everything else, I'm just gonna introduce this build that I have here. It's a winter cottage build for a creative, introverted writer with a cat. I built this back in January, so it being a winter cottage fit for when I built it. Although it's almost the end of March now when I'm actually posting it. That's okay though, I really like this build, and it's also CC free, so you guys will be able to download it if you would like to use it. Everything should be functional in the build, but just in case if it isn't, I'm sorry. I tried to test as many things as I could once it was done, but you know, you might need to change some things up. The one thing that I did end up changing, I ended up rotating the bathtub in the actual build that I posted just because my sim wasn't able to use it in the direction that it was facing. So that's the only thing that you'll notice is different if you do download the build. You should be able to find me in the Sim store, just at themomodiaries. It's the exact same username that I use on YouTube and on Twitch. By the time this video is uploaded, the build should also be posted, so on to my prolonged disappearance. So originally back in September, I notified everybody that I would be going away for a couple of weeks because I was visiting my family in Europe. It was a great trip. My cousin was getting married. Everybody was getting together. It was fun. It was a great time. Getting back from Europe, I thought, okay, I'm gonna take about a week just to, you know, get back into the swing of things. I had a couple of midterms that I need to do for school, get back into my routine here at home. One of those days after we got back, my mom ended up finding a little hole chewed up in the wall near this vent that we have in the dining room. And she immediately was like, oh no, mice. A family of mice moved into our home, and we had no idea where they were, right? Like, you see this little hole chewed up in like the main part of your house. It's the dining room, which is connected to our living room, which is then connected to our kitchen, and it's connected to the hallway that leads to like our bathroom and also to our bedrooms, right? Like they could have gone anywhere. They could have even like chewed up further in the wall and gone up into the attic or down into the basement. So the one day, the Friday that I was going to return to streaming, I had Echoes of Wisdom ready to play. I still haven't played that yet, by the way. I'm going to, still haven't played it. I had Echoes of Wisdom ready to play, and I sat in my office and I hear rustling. I hear rustling behind this shelving that I have here, right? Like this shelving. At first I thought, oh, maybe it's in the wall back there, because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like it was in the wall. It didn't sound like it was in the actual room. So my mom came into my office and we were, you know, moving my shelving away from the wall, and we were trying to see if like we could see any holes back there. But an empty chip bag fell out of one of my shelving that I had completely forgotten about. I pick up the empty chip bag and a mouse jumps out of the chip bag. Oh my god, the immediate panic that we went into, like, trying to catch this mouse. Thankfully, my office, it used to be an old sunroom that has a door to our backyard, that we converted into a room because we weren't using the sunroom. It was, like, way too hot. It wasn't, like, ventilated well, any of that. Yeah, so we're trying to catch this mouse, and we do manage to open the back door and just, like, shoo it out, like, it runs out, and we're like, okay, thank god. Thinking, like, maybe that was the only mouse, right? I kind of like sit in my chair in my office, and I'm just like sitting here kind of thinking if maybe there could be other mice. And there are. I turn around and I see another one peeking out from behind my monitor on my desk staring at me. Again, we get the broom and we try to chase it out, and we chase it out the door. It's gone, with the little doormat that I have and everything. Then we move into our living room, and we don't think to like shut my office door to just in case if there's any other mice. And as I'm sitting in the living room, I look right at the moment to see another mouse walking out of my office and run towards my bedroom. So now I have a mouse in my bedroom. I didn't sleep in my bedroom for like a week after that. I was going to redecorate my room anyways. I had been planning on painting my walls and everything, so that was honestly not a bad time to do so while cleaning up the entire thing, trying to find the mouse. We didn't find the mouse. We ended up having to set up traps, and then finally a few days later, one of the traps caught it. Sadly, it had to die, but you know, that's ideally I would have tried to just shoo it out like I did with the other two, but it wasn't possible with that one. So once the mouse situation was done with, I took some time to like get my office together, clean it up, you know, because mice had been like running around while we were on vacation. I didn't want there to be like any mouse droppings or any gross stuff like that. So we cleaned out my whole office. It was done. I was like, okay, now I can like take some time and finally now get back into streaming, right? That's what I thought. This was nearing American Thanksgiving, and I was also filming a YouTube video at this time. I was filming a YouTube video where I was making Skyrim food from the official Skyrim cookbook for Thanksgiving, and I was like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be all like well produced. I'm making like 5 different dishes, right? Like it's a great video. On the last day of that video, which you will see if you watch it, I will eventually post it once I'm done editing it. You'll see on the last day of that video that I mentioned I'm getting a cough. I mentioned I'm getting like slightly sick on the last day of that video, and you can actually tell by how I'm talking that I'm not able to get like full sentences out without like starting to cough and stuff. That cough ended up being walking pneumonia, and I dealt with for weeks after that. Like even after getting the antibiotics and getting an inhaler to help the cough, that cough lasted for like a month and a half, and I just was not able to record anything for that video to get it finished or even get back into streaming, because imagine me like streaming and just coughing like every 5 seconds as I'm trying to talk. It was not possible to do anything. Thankfully, I was able to still finish up like my exams for my courses, and all that went fine, but I was just useless for like everything else. And then over Christmas break, I also ended up getting the flu, which worsened the cough that was still remaining, so I had to use that inhaler again for like a prolonged time. Yeah, I was dealing with this terrible cough that was caused by that pneumonia infection that I had for, I think, like a solid 2.5 months. Absolutely terrible. I would not wish that on anybody. It's so bad sometimes that you can't sleep, like you can't even relax, you can barely talk because you're coughing so much, so it irritates your throat so much. Absolutely the shittiest time. So that was finally over and done with towards the end of January. Since then, I haven't dealt with any other problems. Fingers crossed that I don't from now on. So since then, I've been planning on how I'm gonna move forward, what I'm gonna plan for YouTube for streaming. I will definitely be playing Echoes of Wisdom. I was so excited to play this back in October, and I still haven't, because I wanted to play this for the first time on stream. It's actually kind of incredible that I haven't just played it already, because I love Zelda so much, but I really, really wanted to stream that. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna play once I get back into streaming. Another thing that I'm really excited about is Animal Crossing. I've actually never played Animal Crossing before, and I got this for Christmas. So Animal Crossing is another game that I'm gonna be playing on stream. Probably once I finish Echoes of Wisdom, I'm gonna move on to Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing will probably not be a game that I play consistently until I finish it. It'll probably be like, I'll probably dedicate the first couple of weeks to it on stream and then kind of play it every so often. We'll see. We'll see how I feel with it anyways. But yeah, other than that, I have other videos that I'm planning for YouTube. The Skyrim Thanksgiving video is one, which like, it's not Thanksgiving anymore, but whatever. I still want to finish that and get it posted because I did so much for that video. Like I said, I cooked so many dishes. I filmed all of it with my really nice camera and everything. I even for when we finally ate the food, I set up my table to have the aesthetic to feel like you're in Skyrim. Like, I put so much effort into it. I need to post it. But I have a couple of other videos I've been working on as well, so hopefully I'll be able to work on those consistently over the next few weeks and get them those posted to YouTube. I'm gonna talk about some more details about this cottage since I went over everything else that I needed to talk about in this video. Like I mentioned before, it's like a cozy little writer's cottage made for an introverted person with a cat. I wanted this space to be one that you would want to spend all of your time in, you know, have a lot of different hobby things. There's a dedicated office with a streaming computer just in case if the writer wants to dabble in streaming or some content creation. There's tons of bookshelves all over the place. I'm imagining that they're like an avid reader that collects books and buys a ton of books. I really want to add in like a cozy fireplace that looks like it's an original old fireplace. I imagined that this little cottage was one that was purchased, maybe kind of run down and then renovated to suit this writer's style. I added a little laptop on the dining table just for the fact that maybe if they do want to step out of the house, then they can take their laptop to like a cozy cafe or like a library and work on writing there. That's one of the reasons why I built this in Windenburg, is because Windenburg of course introduced cafes since it came with Get Together. I feel like there isn't really like a better pairing than a writer in a cafe, right? Like you've seen that stereotypical image in all sorts of movies and books and games. Maybe not games, but movies and books for sure. There's a nice big TV for watching movies because maybe alongside being a writer, they're also into film. I also added some knitting equipment on the side. This equipment isn't actually usable, I don't think, but if you decide to download this house and use it for your sim, then maybe you could add knitting equipment for them to use for a hobby. And I think knitting kind of fits that whole aura of an author. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of cat furniture. Of course, the cat deserves only the best. And I thought it was a bit awkward to put the washer and dryer in the hallway of this house. But a lot of small houses, old small houses, when you renovate them, you kind of need to be creative with where you place things, because I'm imagining that since it's a very old house, it didn't originally have a washer and dryer, or they didn't originally make space for one because maybe when it was built, people were still using those like washboards outside, right? So I'm thinking, you know, maybe the hallway isn't a bad place to place them. But also, if you hate laundry in your game, personally, you can just remove them, right? Click them away. You won't ever have to do laundry that way. But I actually really like doing laundry in the game. I like doing laundry in real life too. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I really like the bathroom in this build. I really like this dark, moody, cozy vibe that I gave to it. There's no shower because I really wanted there to be a bathtub. If you personally like a shower, of course, remove the bathtub, place a shower in there. But some people prefer taking baths over showers, and I feel like maybe this sim does because maybe they always like to bring a book with them into the bath at night when they take a bath. It was about the aesthetics for me in the end. The bedroom has a nice bed, a little extra heater, because I was kind of thinking utility-wise, if it's an old house, maybe it's a little breezy. There's little like cracks that might let cold air in. And since there's only the fireplace in the main room, the bedroom might get cold if it's so far away from the fireplace. I'm thinking IRL here, you know, Sims doesn't really work like that. But yeah, there's a little heater. You can also add in a thermostat if you really want to into the build. Thermostat is always just really easy because you just turn it on for the whole house and it works. The outside has a bike if the sim wants to take a bike ride around the area that they live in, or maybe a bike into town. Doesn't really work like that in the Sims, but you know, you can imagine. There's soil patches for plants if they want to grow food, you know, that kind of fits the vibe of making their own little like homestead. There's a little flower arranging table for a fun summertime activity, a little grill, some patio furniture. I'm imagining that if they do actually host family and friends sometimes, then this would be the place to do it, outside near the grill. So yeah, I really like this build personally. It's really simple, but I think it's very cozy. You could, I think, even fit another sim in there if you do plan to play with like a couple or maybe a sim plus like another person. I think it should be fairly easy to rearrange things if you'd want to do that. If you guys do want to download this, it should be uploaded by now, by the time I post this video. Like I said, my username would just be themomodiaries, so you can find me under that. I'm really excited to get back into content creation and streaming. If you want to be notified of any future uploads, you can click the subscribe button and also like this video if you liked this video. I'll end off this video with some photos and more detailed footage of the build so you can take a look at it more closely. And now I'll be signing off. Bye!